us as black men are running. We're doing these things. We're trying to figure things out. We've named a plethora of things. What constitutes a passport bro, what we're doing when we're going abroad. But when we're doing that, we're leaving her. So what is
Mm.
she doing? And maybe
Well,
we can talk
I
about some of those things. She
yeah.
got a passport too, right? So I'm like, I don't know. Last I looked, black women are doing extremely well compared to
Mhm.
black men financially. So
Yeah.
let's open up that a little bit. I'm curious what your thoughts are so that we can talk about some of that because I think we got to let that breathe. We talked
Mhm.
about in episode 1, we had the whole conversation around him, but I think we need to open up the conversation about her. So, women make
Okay.
up a significant portion of the black family. And
Mm.
also they bring a lot of security to black families. And honestly, we all know, I think some of the stats now says women make up 80%,
Hmm.
4% of solo travelers worldwide. 72% of American
Mhm.
women have taken solo vacations.
Wow.
So, before we start just talking about these brothers that escaped, the sisters are already gone. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
they also think about black women pretty much, from a cultural perspective, they have amazing jobs. They have, the income I think they definitely have, surpassed the men in a lot of
Mhm.
areas in terms of
Mhm.
bringing
Mhm.
income into the household. And with that, that gives you access to do things.
Mhm.
So there's a real growing movement of women that are like, hey, I'm about to bounce too. But they're bouncing
Mhm.
for different reasons. Going to
Yeah.
Paris, going to Cartagena, going to Bali, going to Istanbul, all these other
Hmm.
places, specifically seeking men who treat them a certain way.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's interesting, man, because we're both running away from our opposite gender or whatever the opposite sex or whatever the case may be, saying the same things. I'm not being
Hmm.
treated the right way.
Yeah.
And don't you find that interesting? I just find that interesting, as we talk about running. Maybe we're both running from each other and we
Mm.
don't really talk about that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just put a pin on that and want to open up the conversation to just see what you all think about. I think of black women being a black man's mirror,
Mm.
you
Mhm.
know?
Hmm.
But if neither one of us are there, how are we going to address the two of us coming together?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I look at it in some ways a little different. I know this is a conversation that definitely needs to happen. Black women have been going abroad for forever, forever.
Mm.
And just to bring it back, that love, it deserves the same respect and the same nuance that we gave to the brothers in part 1. So I agree with
Right.
you there. They're tied too. They have been I mean, think
Mm.
about our black women. Think about our black women and all that they've had to traverse over the last 5 years, just 5 years.
Mm.
And we can
Mm.
Just
go
5
back
years.
centuries. We can go back
Right.
centuries.
Yeah.
But let me just go
Yeah, we
Generations.
back
can.
Yeah.
5 years. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Just over the last 5 years. So, we can't just center the brother's pain and dismiss the sister's pain. That's just not gonna work. It's all the same pain too. To be honest about that, it's all the same pain. So,
Yeah.
you
Like
know,
two sides of the
I would
same
just
coin.
yeah. I gotta start there with it at least though.
Yeah. No
I
doubt. Wow.
yeah.
Go ahead, Jay.
I just get so aggravated and frustrated when you see how we are depicted and portrayed on
Mm.
social media. Like black women are always saying the same thing. He ain't this, he ain't that.
Mm.
You need to
Mm.
get the bag. Girl, you need to get your weight up. He need to be doing this for you.
Mm.
He need to be doing that. The black men are like, she ain't this, she ain't that, treating them
Mm.
poorly. We don't really have a lot of good modeling out there. And so
Yeah.
it just makes it very hard for me to be like, dang, like this is what we get all day, every day. Like as soon as you
Mhm.
turn social media on, it's like everywhere.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want
Yeah.
to be a part of that either. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Well,
Yeah.
trash.
it's algorithm too, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
I want to be honest
Yeah.
about that because let me just give just a personal reference, right? So my partner, when she decided that she needed that time, and we went to Mexico, she stayed. She didn't come
Mm.
home. She decided this is what I'm gonna do. Now, this is
Mm,
not
Wow.
the same person that you're talking about, Jamie. This is somebody who
mhm,
pretty much had it in a lot of ways figured out
Mm.
already. You know, for her to say to me
mm,
that she is gonna stay and she ain't got anywhere what I figure is the type of clothing or a type of things that she needed. She had
Mm.
already been thinking for herself that I know myself well enough to understand that I understand where I am and what I can do and what I need. And she
Mhm.
made that decision. I feel
yeah,
like this is the same person that we're looking at the top of our conversation here, who's saying, you know, 6 foot. I got this credit
Mm.
score of 825. This is the same person, just in a different body. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
that has me to 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 really having hope. Even me as a male, just having
Mm.
hope, because this is a black woman who has understood not only where she wants to go, but understanding that where she is, which is on quote unquote foreign land, is exactly where she wants to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
mm,
I think that is also a side of the mirror that we need to look at, and not constantly look into the algorithm. Constantly,
Mm.
we are thinking that the algorithm is what is the frame for us, is the
Mm.
lens for us. But
yeah,
I see every single day, you know, black women that are overseas, that are showing me every day that is not the thing. I
Mm.
have friends that are living in
mhm,
France right now. You know what I'm saying? Among the friends that are living in Puerto Rico and over in, which I know that's US, but still
Mhm.
in Puerto Rico, in Venezuela. These women are living there,
Mm.
living there. They've been
yeah,
living there. And they've been, you know, regardless of if they're doing almost the same as we've said in part one,
Mhm.
or more mature in their stance, I feel, if that's the way I can say it, they
Mhm.
have been doing the work to understand this is what they want.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think you're hitting at the
yeah,
most important piece of that, which is the thing that I always want to bring us back to make sure that we sit with, because we've established that both sides are going abroad for sometimes very similar reasons. And some of that includes being able to find somebody who actually sees them.
Yeah.
Again, though, this gets at what you were just talking
Yeah.
about too, Jay, with the algorithm, or both of y'all were talking about that, but then also like what you see when you get out there, that algorithm winds up programming you to feel like the other side ain't doing what it needs to be doing, right?
Yeah.
And what I see when I
mm,
see videos and I see all that and people just keep complaining about the other side like that, I always ask myself, well, do they actually see themselves? Like they're looking for somebody else to be able to bring them that peace. What about the peace that you need to bring to yourself before you can wind up attracting to yourself that type that you really want to be with? Because unhealed
yeah,
people wind up exporting their trauma. So you can change
Yeah.
your passport stamp, but you can't change your patterns unless you're doing some intentional work.
Come on, come on,
mm, that's
come on, come
good,
on,
that's good, that's
come
good.
on.
Oh, I feel you on that, CJ. I guess I'm up here thinking you gotta look at this from both sides, and both
Mhm.
sides are right. I ain't sitting here to say one side is wrong and the other side is right. Like, I think we both got skin in the game. When I say
Mm.
both, I mean men and women. And both sides have work to do. Until we say that out loud, we're going to continue to have this conversation where
Yeah.
another 5 years will go past us and we still talking about the same thing. I think it's going to be more of us just decide, you know what, I'm out,
Mm. Yeah.
Mhm.
because I have more options abroad than I do at home. And I
Yeah.
hate to say that. You know what I mean? But I
Mhm.
believe that's what's gonna happen. And I don't know, man, I can't help but think about, I'm a faith grounded human. And of course I'm in a loving relationship and I've chosen black love intentionally. And I mean, we have aspirations of being global citizens one day.
Mm.
Like that's
Mm.
the play. So I'm
Mm.
working on and she's working on acquiring skills that allow us to live globally where we're not having to come into this grind culture all the time and be dependent
Wow.
on it. And I
Wow.
think that's something that's required and we're working on ourselves internally so that we can live the life we want to have externally,
Mhm.
you
Mm.
know? And
Yeah.
so I think that's something that you have to do. So I think the one thing we can't run from, like we continue to talk about, is the work.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
what are you willing to do to make
Mhm.
sure, if it's locally or if it's globally,
Yeah.
that you address that work and that healing so that you can have
Mhm.
peace?
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
real, man. So then if
Yeah.
both sides are leaving and we're holding the valid and legit parts for both black men and women at the same time, in a certain way, I guess the question can become what happens to what they left? Like the people they leave behind, the jobs they left behind, what happened to black
Mhm.
love or what happens to black love? With that, what ultimately happens to our community? It just has my mind going there. So I'd love for us to spend a little bit of time on that.
I can't help but think about what Jay-Z say, like, make another hole. Like,
Hmm.
if you gonna go and you wanna recreate yourself, then recreate yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you only live once. And I
Yeah.
feel
Mm.
like you shouldn't be living your life to find this perfect thing where everybody's gonna be happy with you and all these other things. Like, whatever's required, I think you should go for that. You know, they say
Mhm.
49% of black women in this country have never been married. You only
Oof,
live
man.
once,
Mm.
right? Black women are the group least likely to marry
Mm.
outside their race, only 7%. So when both sides are going abroad to find love, we have to name that the structural reality looks like for communities that we're leaving, like you only live once. I'm like,
Mm.
if that's what I got to do to find love and to do the things that are going to bring me the ultimate peace and joy and happiness, I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
we got
Yeah.
Zoom, we got FaceTime, right? I can sell
Mhm.
you some money. You know what I mean? Like, there are ways that we can still stay connected if these are people that are worth connecting with and to. So that's just my
Yeah,
frame of it.
I like that. And it's hard to push back on that, but just to kind of take the conversation a little bit further, like the entire debate seems framed as you stay and you suffer, stay in the US and you suffer,
Mhm.
or you leave and you be free. But we all know
Yeah.
brothers, we all know sisters now who found a third way, and we're always looking for like that alternative somewhere in the middle. And here's a
Yeah.
perspective on that. So, like, what if a person who's leaving is not truly leaving, and instead, what if what they're doing is actually expanding? Okay. You're not
Say
leaving,
more.
you're
Say more.
expanding. So you build or you rent a property abroad. You spend 3 or 4 months there per year. Your
Absolute.
money
Yes.
stretches further. Your family gets exposed to
Yes.
the world, like that global citizenry that young man, at 23-year-old was talking about
Mhm.
earlier. Nobody's abandoning
Yes.
anybody. Like that's not escapism at all. And to borrow a term from the financial investment world and space, that's portfolio diversification for your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure. For
According
sure.
to a 2025 CNBC study in Colombia, 92% of American expats say that their income is enough to live comfortably. In Vietnam, a comfortable life costs $900 to $1,300 a month. And
Woo!
that's
Jesus.
65 to 70% cheaper than what it costs to live in New York or where I currently live in
Woo!
LA. Like if I could live on $1,300 a month, I'd be an extremely rich man. On top of that, Americans abroad can legally exclude up to $500 of earned income from their U.S. federal taxes. Again, I'm gonna say that again so that people get that. For us Americans
What?
abroad, we can legally exclude 126.5 thousand of earned income from our U.S. federal
Come
taxes
on,
every year.
man.
So in that sense, this whole thing kind of stops being a running away conversation and instead becomes more like a wealth conversation.
$10.
Yeah,
Do you know in abroad you can live extremely well off of 120? Wow.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah. How about that, right?
That's wild. Yeah. That's crazy.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
That's
Look,
crazy.
for some
You can't
people,
even get the words
I
out.
can't, man, because when I think about I had done some of the math for when I was, like I said, where I was, I am in a place that one taco
Yeah.
was literally like at sometimes it
Yeah.
was like 85 cents,
Wow.
85 American
Mhm.
cents. And
Wow.
a
Come
dollar, a
on.
dollar 25. So you living in a place that looks really, really nice. And it's like those prices. It's like
Yeah.
$900 and it looks better than what I got here.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. How
And
crazy
you
is
like,
that?
what am I doing? What am I doing? So yeah, listen, I get that. For some people, the breathing room abroad is,
Mm.
what
Yeah.
allows them to kind of like do that healing too. So I
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
see
Yeah. Yeah.
I got the prices is good. I need that
Yeah.
breathing room. You know what I'm
Mm.
All
saying?
of
You
a
can't
sudden, this
always,
feels very
yeah, it
peaceful
feeling
over
really
here.
good. You can't always be doing that internal work while you in that external
Yeah.
environment and it's attacking you
Yeah.
Yeah.
actively. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So that
Yeah.
sabbatical could be a purpose, in some ways, and not a
Yeah.
and a You know what I'm
Huh.
saying? It could be
Yeah.
there where you have purpose for going and I need this piece, blah, 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 blah. And the return on it is that energy that you get back. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
That's not an
Yeah.
abandonment. That could be a strategy for some people.
Woo.
So, I think
I like that.
we got to think of it like that as well.
Oh,
That's a
man,
good
that's so
point.
good. I cannot help but say this. I have to say this because we talk about love all the time, but
Mm,
Black love is so
mm,
beautiful. It's so amazing. It is not dead. I believe that, we talk about passport bros, we talk about passport sisters, all these things. Us coming together is what it's all about. I feel
Yeah.
like it's so dehydrated because we just
mm,
listen to all the stuff that surround us, this noise that keeps consuming us. You gotta get the bag. You gotta spend the bag on her. If he ain't spending the bag on you, that mean he don't love you and
mm,
all these other things. And then all of a sudden we both just doing this and it's just pulling us apart. And I feel like we're running from the most important part, Black love, but also we're running from the work. And
mhm,
so,
Yeah.
before you book that flight, maybe you decide to invest a little bit money and booking a session, getting some therapy,
mm,
at least start the work so that when you do go abroad, you can continue to work while you on the beach somewhere. Like,
Man, I
you know
feel
what I
you.
mean? Be mindful of it. I'm
that's
not
not a
saying
bad
don't,
deal.
we're not saying don't do it, but like just think about what you want to really get out of it. And hopefully it's more than just, punching your passport.
Mm,
So
Yeah, I
do the
listen,
work.
listen, listen, listen. We've been talking about it. Let's get to the verdict. Okay. It's
Yeah.
40-50 verdict time. Where
uh,
where
Yeah,
where
yeah.
does each of us stand right now after this full conversation? Because I just want to know. You know what I'm saying? Me spending my time in Mexico, in Panama, and these other countries that I've been to because I've been to more countries. I didn't
mm,
have no burnout. I got friends right now that are over in these countries right now. Shout out to Keisha. Shout out to
mm,
Kanisha, shout out to my man Ali, shout out to Erica, shout out to everybody holding it down. CC, you know what I'm saying? My
mm,
man Emerson, like I could go on here. My man Bradley, all of them, like
Man,
shout out to
that's
them
what's up,
because
man.
they right now, even looking at us right now, they're looking at us from another location that is outside of the
mm.
United States. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah.
what's up.
That brother in the comments, living in Bali. You know what I'm saying? On that 275 a year,
Mhm.
275,000 a year. Now that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real outcome right there for a
That's
real man who did that real work first, right? Remember we was
Yeah.
talking about that work that he did, all that work.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
my verdict, the math is mathing here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
just is mathing. But the work, you got to make that work meaningful. It's both. And you know me as a Libra, I always try to keep it balanced. You don't want
Huh.
to go broke trying to
Yeah.
breathe free. So you got to really make sure that you understand what it means when you travel. And don't go abroad trying to find something that you haven't already built inside yourself. Stay focused to making sure that you yourself know who you are. So when you do go abroad, you are able to sustain and able to understand why.
Mm,
Yeah.
man.
That's
And I
my
guess that
verdict on this.
I like that. Well, and this leads me into my verdict. It caps right on top of what you were just saying here. So like the man who leaves with intention, that through me man, that
Mm,
man has his people accounted for, has a plan, as his whole self. That man has got to have our full respect, not only our full respect, but our admiration. Like I'm
yeah,
inspired by something like that. That
right,
man
right.
who's
Mhm.
running though, and honestly, we got love for him too. Like we have to, but the version of him he's running from packed his own bag. And again, eventually, and as we said a couple times earlier, he's gonna have to eventually wind up facing himself. So my ultimate verdict, black man, the clock says you got 20 years left if you're at 47 right now. Don't spend them as a running
Mm.
man, spend them as a whole one.
Huh,
Mm.
huh, huh.
Yeah.
I
I
hear
can't
you
help but
now.
think, man, that's good. I can't help but think about both pieces that you all mentioned, and I think I'm hitting both of them in
Mhm.
terms of the intersection of running, expanding, Black love, all these pieces coming together. I think Black love is a choice. Black
Mm.
love is not dead. I'm never gonna say that it is. I believe we have all the opportunity to make sure that it stays thriving, growing, and all the things we want it to be.
I hear
But
that.
my verdict is expansion is a wonderful thing.
Mm,
Expanding and broadening your horizons is a wonderful thing. Broadening your borders is a wonderful thing.
yeah.
Mm,
You shouldn't have to run to it though. I
Mm,
mhm,
believe you can
mhm.
walk there. You can, of course, fly there, but at the same time, you take the time it takes to do the work so that when you get there, you can enjoy it.
mm,
Yeah,
Even if you choose to start the process before you get there, continue the journey when you get there, right?
yeah.
So that the goal is to become whole. The goal is to become whole. The goal is to become whole.
I
yeah,
I
like
can't
that.
say that enough. And it ain't
Yeah.
about how much bread you got in your pocket. At the end of the day,
Mm,
bread in your pocket ain't gonna matter. What's gonna matter is, are you whole?
mhm.
And that
yeah,
definition means something to something different for everyone.
Good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Appreciate
yeah,
that.
So I
yeah,
just,
yeah, definitely.
we're gonna continue to talk about how we engage with our sisters. We want to hear from y'all. Like,
Mm,
we're gonna start having conversations where we want to bring you into this conversation. We want to hear from you on any and all episodes, but we want to start bringing your voice to the table as well. Let's get your perspective. We don't want you to feel as though we're always just focused on our men. We want to
mhm,
hear from you. You hold us down. Let's hold you down. So definitely give us some comments. Let we know what you think hits from this conversation and what you would like for us to expound upon. And for everybody watching, drop your comments as well. We want to hear from
mm,
you to make sure that, hey, are we hitting it for you? Are there certain things that we didn't do a good job of, or we could do more of? Like,
mm.
let's hear from you, because this conversation is going to continue, and we're going to let it breathe and grow some more.
Amen. Added to that, if you're building something on the continent specifically, we want to hear from you. The brother in our comments with employees in Kenya,
Mm,
that conversation is
Definitely,
far, far, far from done and has so many different
definitely.
layers left to develop and unpack and try to model even. So if you're building something in Africa, please drop that below in the comments.
The 40/50 Social Club. We don't tell you what to do. I'm telling you, we don't. We make sure that you do. We make sure that
Yeah.
in whatever that you do it with your eyes open, with your math
mm,
right, and with your people accounted for.
Mm. Bless.
mm.
Quest,
That's
my man
good.
CJ, my man Jamie, thank y'all for hanging with us, and we'll see y'all
Yeah.
next time.